Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Truth War. Today, I'm gonna talk about a couple of things. One, the future. So going into next week after the Super Bowl game, how that's going to be done, and then a couple key topics I want to talk about. Kind of some reactions on some things, some live reactions, so you'll get to see my honest opinion on it. Just some topics that I want to talk about while we're kind of waiting for tomorrow for me to drop the my predictions for the game this Sunday, Super Bowl. Woo. Firstly, I want to talk about how I'm going to approach the off season. So after Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl game that Monday, I'll be I'll be doing a reaction video to that, and I will do my first free off season. How what's been going on with this team? What has this team done? What are the kind of needs for this team? And then I'll do a mock draft kind of explaining my reasons for that as well. So I'll be doing a couple of things. That's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be going alphabetical order from the NFL teams. So if you go look at the NFL and look at the teams alphabetically, that's the order I'm going to be going in. And it's going to be day in, day out. I want to produce a video every single day. So that'll be exciting, and I'll try to keep up to date with all the news on team signings and everything like that. But with that being said, let's get into the topics I want to talk about today. This one was really interesting. Chargers new offensive coordinator is going to be the Ravens offensive. Is going to be the former Ravens offensive coordinator. Really good offensive coordinator. I like what they did. I think this is a hit for the Ravens. I think that sucks, but hey, man, that's a pretty good one, especially with what you've seen from the Ravens offense. I think that's a great one, especially for Justin Herbert. You're really going to see him take that next step. I really think with this Ravens offensive coordinator. Something I wanted to also talk about. So, a lot of people are talking about their MVPs for the potential Super Bowl. I saw a pretty popular Instagram clip on that. A lot of people are saying Debo, Mahomes, Purdy, CMC, George Kittle. I've even heard some sorry, it's slipping my mind. I've heard some Brandon Ayuk. But no one's talking about Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco has been so good for the Chiefs this season, and he's gone so like under the radar. It's kind of crazy how people underrate Pacheco so much. Don't get me wrong. The Chiefs have a really, really, really good offensive line when they can run the football. But the thing is, like Pacheco being able just to slip through those holes and make a guy miss and pop straight up, or take a hit or give a hit and pop straight up. It's really incredible what he's able to do and how much he brings juice to that Chiefs offense. It really is. Something I want to bring up, something I want to kind of hear what y'all think on that. Am I a little high on Pacheco, or do you think he's also a guy who fell under the radar? Scrolling down. Where is it? Oh, yes. Another thing for the Chargers. Chargers have officially hired Michigan's defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. I think I'm saying that right. As their defensive coordinator, Jim Harbaugh, guy he likes to bring him. One, I like Michigan's defense. We'll see if it translates. The one thing I like about them is they trust their DBs on the outside. Something Baltimore loves to do. A lot of Baltimore similarities now that I think about it. But Baltimore loves to do that. They trust their DBs. They do have some DBs in LA. They might dip into that in free agency or something. It's gonna be interesting to see what Los Angeles does. But look, they're building a roster. I like what they're doing. I think they're gonna be a really fun team to watch next year. They've always been a fun team. I think they're gonna be a really fun team to watch next year. Okay, we can get into this. The Gridiron, their new draft, the big board, NFL draft big board. So this is on X, formerly known as Twitter, if you want to know. And this is kind of my first reaction to this. Sorry, it's slipping mind. I'm trying to say this. Olufashanu, I think I'm saying that right. I can't say his full name. I don't know how to say it. At number 6, from what I'm kind of seeing around videos and kind of on Instagram and all social media, everyone kind of has Olu as their number one tackle. They have Fashanu as their number one tackle. Like a lot of people like him. Um, him and Joe Tooney. I think that's how you say it. I think it's Joe Tooney. I might be wrong on that. I might be wrong. I'll have to check again. But those two guys are 1 and 1, 2. They're like top tackles, bouncing back and forth. It's gonna be interesting to see. Sometimes you have that in the NFL. Sometimes you don't have it in the draft. It's some years it varies, but it's not something surprising to have. We've had it a couple years ago with Evan Neal and Evan Neal's draft class. It happens. We're really gonna see. I haven't delved into their film. It's gonna be really interesting how their NFL careers play out. Who's gonna select them? That's also gonna be something really important. Going to the next, they have Brock Bowers as their number 2 overall player. This is interesting. The fact that it's not a quarterback. The fact that it's not. How should I say this? The fact that Caleb Williams. If Caleb Williams isn't like 3 or something, if he's like 5, I'm like, because he's a really good talent. Like, I feel like people are hating on Caleb Williams because of how successful he is, but the fact that he doesn't have the wins. And then they're calling him drama queen. They call him all these extra things. I feel like people are just trying to dig up dirt and hit on the guy when I think he's a really good quarterback. I don't know if he's taken a step down yet. I still have to watch his film for this year. I will be watching that. I will drop a video on that too. But it's going to be something really interesting to see, nevertheless. But Brock Bowers, love Brock Bowers. A lot of people are calling him an outside tight end. I don't know if the NFL believes that. Could you put him in the red zone 1-on-1 on the outside? Yes. Are you going to do that a lot? Probably not. Because here's the thing, though. Depending on how fast this guy runs, he might not be able to keep up. I'm not saying he won't, but it really his 40 times really going to dictate, hey, how much fuel is there actually to people calling him an outside receiver? But I like him. I think he's one of the true tight ends in the draft. Somebody who can go block and go catch the pass or go catch the football in the pass. Great guy. He reminds me a lot of Kittle and Kelsey. A lot of that. A little bit of elements of Tony Gonzalez. I'm not saying he's these players, but he plays similar to that style. So if there's an NFL team looking at that, they'll probably go snag that. Next is number 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not surprised by this. Maserati Marv. I've watched some Ohio State games. I haven't watched this film, but it really does. The games I watched, it really did feel like he really, if he had a better quarterback, he probably is undoubtedly the best receiver in this draft. Especially if you look at that last Michigan game. Man, I mean, like, you're sitting there and you're seeing some of the throws, and then it's just like, that's probably going to be a pick. And then Marvin Harrison comes down with it. It's just like, dang. If he hit Marvin Harrison in stride, it's an easy touchdown for him. And he just gets open. He makes clutch catches. Really going to be interesting to see how him and Malik Neighbors separate themselves from each other. It's going to be really interesting to see. Other than that being said, man, I think there's going to be some studs in the NFL. Number 1 overall, I wouldn't mind not doubting that. Number 8, Jared Verse. Jared Verse has been so interesting because everyone has a different place for Jared Verse. There is no consensus area for Jared Verse. Everyone has their own opinion. Oh, he's gonna be a first round. Everyone is like firm. He's going in the first round. It's just where is he going 1 or 32? Nobody has any idea. Like nobody knows where Jared Verse is gonna go. That's been so interesting because going into this draft or going into this season, I feel like everyone was just like, yeah, Jared Verse is going to be the number 1 defensive end taken off the board. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, that's the consensus. And now the consensus is we don't really know. He's just going in the first round. So it's going to be interesting to see where he falls. It really is. I'm curious. I'm really curious. Malik Neighbors at 7. So to put this in perspective, Malik Neighbors is just better than Jared Verse. Not as good as Marvin Harrison. Not as good as Brock Bowers. Not as good as Olu. I think that's fair. Maybe not over Olu. I mean, maybe not like behind Olu. I think he can make a name. Look, the thing that makes Malik Neighbors so good and so tempting to select is the fact that he had a season that competed with Marvin Harrison Jr., who, like I said before, didn't have the best quarterback, but he did that on the outside and the inside. Now, look, he can polish up on his route running. The guy's good. The guy's explosive. The guy can take a top off the defense. He can go up and make contested catches. Really, really good receiver. Like I said, with him and Marvin Harrison, it's gonna be really interesting to see how these guys play out. I'm super excited. I am extremely excited to see how these guys' careers play out because they're gonna be good. They're gonna be really good receivers, and that is it. I know this is a shorter video, but thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you all later. And let me know what y'all think on my comments.